I don't know about you guys, but whenever I'm using finish nails, I don't waste my drill bits. I just take a finish nail, whichever one I'm using, and I cut the head off so I can chuck it in my drill. I go ahead and use this to make me a pilot hole, but I don't take it all the way to the hilt. Just take it down, into the second piece of wood. Let the rest of the length of nail make its own hole from there on. Now bear in mind, this is sawmill lumber that my brother, myself, and my dad sawed when I come home from the Marine Corps in 1975. So this is fairly cured material. Been gearing for 45 years, I guess. I was doing a job for a little lady in town last year, and I was using my tender's hammer, and she said, "Oh, I've got a little hammer like that. Let me get that for you." She went and got this old thing here, just rusty, all beat up as could be. Got broken handle in it and everything, And she gave that to me, so it's a good little hammer for these little projects like this. I don't know if you guys are like me, but I'm a sucker for a bargain. I stop by yard sales and farm auctions and stuff continuously. I'll buy old guys, workshops and all that kind of stuff, for a lot of stuff out of their workshop, for pennies on the dollar. Like for instance right here. Hopefully I'll probably never use all these up, but these are like 4 penny. They're 1.5 inch finish nails. But you can get stuff like that for 50 cents or $1 a box. 12 miles away, it costs you a lot more than that in fuel and in time, and then a heck of a lot more than 50 cents or $1, and you're only going to get 1/4 pound of them. I think what we've decided on finish is going to be a high gloss exterior polyurethane. Here's one arm on. I left this out pretty far. We're probably going to cut a recess in there and maybe a hole in for a coffee cup. We had to make a notch in here, and we had to match the angle of the back, and of course bolt it through here. And then we'll go ahead about the business of installing the rest of the slats from there up. But I had to get these arms in there prior to the slats on the back. Now these just have one nail in, just to hold everything in place. We still got to fabricate mounting hardware and all. Well, you can't rely on just nails to hold this together, which is why you see the carriage bolts all around in key points. One of the things we have to do is we have to put an eye bolt all the way from underneath here and support it from under this outside rail up through the handle, and then hook with a chain to go up. There won't be any weight necessarily or pressure being applied to this, but at the same time I want this to be very, very secure. And what I've done in the past on the 2 other ones I've made is to just make angle iron clips like this, and then that's going to bolt through this, and at the same time bolt through the top. That just puts a little pressure there. Now we have to have 4 eye bolts that are about 16, 17 inches long. So what we're going to do, we're going to take a little bit of this, we're going to heat it up. It's pretty easy to make an eye bolt. The problem is making 4 of them all pretty much the same. Oh yeah, I guess I better tell you, I ain't no blacksmith either. But man, we used to beat the heck out of stuff out there in the blacksmith shop on the farm. We used to draw plowshares out, and we'd make them homemade split maws out of sledgehammers. Like I tell you guys all the time, doesn't matter what it starts out looking like, it's what it ends up looking like that's important. And I'll open it up a little bit and we'll put our links in there, a chain, and then we'll put a little spot of a MIG weld on there to make sure it doesn't open up under the weight of people swinging. The other end of the eye bolt, it's got to have wrinkles on it, so I cut it off the length that we need. Yeah, this is a Little Giant. Greenfield, Massachusetts, Little Giant. That thing is old, man. There we go. We'll clean that all up. Got threads on the next one. But the way this is going to operate is I've got a hole drilled in the top. It's going to go right between that slot right there and right here out the bottom. I'm making 4 of these. That's going to go under here. All the weight then is going to be supported to the outside rails. We'll put a nut on there, of course, and a lock washer. And if you notice right here, there's a small hole drill. That's so you can tap a screw up inside there and keep this from rotating. So here we have it. This is the finished product. And if you look underneath, you can see the way I've got those. Now these are not completely done. I've got to square those up, but you can see how that's going to support the weight from all the way down here. And then I've got the screws, the screw holes on the edge where I'll run a pilot screw up in there, or a screw up in there, to keep those from rotating in the event that this works loose. And of course I've got to cut these off so they won't gouge any kid or something in the head. If I have some of those little protectors, I might even pop those plastic protectors on. But if you look up under here, you can see the angle iron clips that are bolted through the handle, through the arm, and through the front upright, you know, to also lend support to the thing, to support the weight. This is going to make my daughter-in-law pretty happy. My son donated as much time as he possibly could, you know, with his 6-day-a-week work schedule pretty much all the time. He was able to do a lot of the work for me, but you know, the end result I think is going to make her smile just a little bit anyway. We got the dust all blown off of it. Time to get ready to put a little finish on it. What I've opted to do, I'm going to use an exterior spray polyurethane, but prior to that we're going to clean everything off with paint thinner or mineral spirits. I've already blown most of the dust off it, as much of it as possible, so now it's time to just kind of hit it with this mineral spirit. You don't have to get it soaking wet, it's just enough to attract all the dust. According to my son-in-law, who's a lot smarter about this stuff than I am, the mineral spirits will kind of work with the chemical composition of the polyurethane and cause it to adhere better to the wood. Now again, that's not my knowledge, that's my son-in-law's knowledge. I best stick to things rusty, you know what I mean? I've already done the whole backside. Now, I think I told y'all before that my brother, my dad, and myself, we sawed this walnut out on a home place when I come home from the Marine Corps about 1975, and it's been shuffled around and in storage ever since. And it's really sucking up the finish. That's why I know it's going to take at least 3 coats. Might even have to take a 4th coat. But we'll lightly sand between the coats and everything and get a nice thick coat, get it nice and drawn in there. But it's really sucking it in good. You can see, man, it went from well, it's just dry. It's almost completely dry right now. There's just a little bit of a tackiness in some of the corners, so I got a double spray, which I should not have done. But whenever you're spraying, you can't hardly not do that. You can see it was a nice, fun project. It's strung out over the course of 4 partial days. The longest time I worked on it at any particular day was, 4.5 or 5 hours, so it's not that big a deal. And it turned into a really nice little project for the daughter-in-law. I think she's going to be tickled to death with it. Here's our homemade eye bolts. There are 4 of them. They all turned out fairly close. They're not too far off. Shine them all up, and I'm going to clear coat those. So, if they begin to rust or something, it'll be easy to touch up, sand them a little bit, and touch them up, and then the overspray will just go right on to the existing finish. Got to let this set a few hours. I'm going to go ahead and hit it again. Let it set a few hours, hit it again, and then hopefully we'll be done with it. For now, I think I'm just going to consider this one here done. You know what? We beat this one to death in this Tractor Man 44. I am out of here. Just change one link. It's kind of hard gripping that and do that with one hand. Still one link low, isn't it?
Now?
Yeah.
Let's go.
Unfortunately, you can't swing too much with it because you're right up against the wall.
Oh, this is good. Yeah, it's perfect.
Oh, I'd leave that little guy.